Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, I thought we'd go over some of my interactions with publishers and what those relationships can maybe sort of look like. So let's jump on over to the table next door and see what we have in store. So I've been fortunate enough to interact with, I'd say, 3 different publishers who are interested in my games. Or yeah, 3 or 4 or so. And each one has been a little bit different, which is great. All very supportive. But for me, yeah, personally, for my first publisher kind of interaction, it was definitely something that I wasn't expecting, first and foremost. And then kind of afterwards, yeah, it was sort of very, I don't want to say hands off, but it was in a way that was done that I wasn't expecting exactly, or I didn't know what to expect, being my first time. And what I came to realize and learn, and definitely accept, is that as special as it feels to be kind of singled out by a publisher for sure, it helps to know in the grand scheme of things that they are constantly busy and always working on many other projects at the same time. So yeah, for a while after the initial kind of contract, going back and forth and signing, it was a little bit until I heard back from them. And I was kind of worried on the inside internally, speaking about, oh no, is this still going to happen? And just not seeing or having like the visibility or communication about what else was going on. And truly, yeah, the part of it I think was just because for the while they were working on other projects that they were going to launch on Kickstarter, crowdfunding campaigns, marketing, of course, of their own other products as well. And so, yeah, for a little bit, I was a little disheartened, to say the least. But of course, yeah, kind of all that went out the window, thankfully, when I did hear back from them and we kind of were conversing with different progress updates along the way. I think it was a couple months before I'd heard back from our publisher. And so I was, again, yeah, feeling very, not distraught, but just sort of like in the dark, I guess is one way to put it. And that is something that you could maybe talk about with the publisher in terms of transparency and timelines and things. I was given a representative one, a kind of placeholder timeline after we had signed and everything about like what their goals were. And yeah, internally, or for me myself, I was sort of hoping that there would be a little bit more dialogue in between. And that's totally my own fault as well, for kind of having that expectation without discussing it. And I, again, want to hearken on or impart just how important communication can be. If it is something that you're looking for, then definitely be the person to start that. Not instigate, but be proactive about it, I think, would definitely help. And so kind of with all that experience, I was able to meet a second publisher. And this is for a different game. But for them, yeah, it was really, really cool in that I got a little bit more of a hands-on approach with the development of the game. So I was kind of working along. What had happened was I was brought on by a singular representative, and then they kind of brought on another member of their team. And through those two kind of working together for a couple months, tweaking the game and perfecting things, refining a lot of the mechanics and such, got to meet, yeah, a few others from the company there, and all through online playtesting for the second game. Definitely right, yeah. I had met them just before the pandemic had hit, so about a year and a half ago now. And so we had been commiserating, contacting through email was the main way for sure. And yeah, through online playtesting, remote playtesting, TTS, Tabletop Simulator, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, it was just really cool to kind of work with them a little bit more, I would say. And then there's also a third publisher that I've had the luxury of working with, and they are, I think, like the smallest that I've had the opportunity to be had with them. And for us, like, we've been communicating a lot through like Facebook messengers, basically kind of me and him, sort of, he's running his own company with his partner, and basically, yeah, we were kind of contacting each other almost every day and sharing ideas, going through and sharing posts of like other related games or things like component inspirations and stuff, which was a lot of fun, super cool. And yeah, gotten really close with that publisher. Granted, lately, we've both been busy with life stuff, and again, that cannot be, I think, impressed enough or reiterated enough times that even when, yeah, you feel like on top of the world and a superstar and a celebrity with getting the attention or maybe even the agreement with the publisher that, yeah, there are so many other cogs that are working, and that's super, super important, I think, just for your own expectations to hit, that, yeah, life goes on and there's so many other things too, like, yeah, whether it's family time, of course, or work often, or at least like this third publisher that I'm working with is not doing this full time. And so that means, I guess, that like the attention isn't drawn on another game perhaps that he's working on necessarily, but also that, yeah, juggling that on top of everything else that's going on is just another good point, I think, to bear in mind, yeah, when kind of contacting. So what I've heard recently is that, you know, cold introductions aren't necessarily the best. With any luck, all of these different conventions and things that are beginning to open up again, hopefully shortly, like hopefully super safe by next year. Often a publisher will kind of make an announcement in a Facebook post or like a Twitter tweet maybe, about kind of like offering pitches or accepting pitches, hosting pitches. So yeah, like that can be a great way to get your foot in the door without trying to be, or like without being a nuisance, not trying to be one, but like kind of not being uninvited per se. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes open online for those kinds of things. I know that like AEG does one pretty consistently every year, I think, like right before Gen Con, which is cool. And then there's like another company, not Naughty Dog, but they were behind trekking the national parks, I believe, and they had like an open call too once or twice, which is great. I think Alley Cat Games at one point as well. So yeah, just kind of keeping an eye open and just checking submission kind of criteria and things about all the different board game company like websites and stuff. They're usually pretty up to date as far as I've known. So yeah, that way you don't have to like necessarily butt in. If there's somebody who can maybe make an introduction, that also helps too, right? Like a warm opening instead of a cold one. But yeah, generally speaking, when it comes to after even the signing phase and what that all kind of looks like, you have like a wide gamut of things. Like some are maybe more independent, while others kind of have you, yeah, like more in the trenches, so to speak. And it's just been an overall really pleasant experience. So I'm hoping that you also get this opportunity at some point, and not to worry if your game isn't signed by a publisher ever. Like there are plenty of other avenues to go about making your games happen. And although there is like validation that way, it can be maybe even more validating to launch it all yourself and bring it to life through your own merits and things. So that's just one final point that I'd like to hit on today. But thank you, yeah, so much for your time and checking this out. And if you have different experiences, please let me know. Leave them in the comments and let me know, yeah, kind of what your goals may be for the next year of game design. I hope this video gave you a little bit of hope and a little bit more insight behind the curtain. I don't think I spoke too terribly of anyone, but yeah, there's a little bit of what you can maybe look forward to or expect the next time that you are being knocked on by a publisher, your door being knocked on by a publisher. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell icon so that you can stay notified about when the next video goes up. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.